why, but it seems like it takes my videos longer to upload these days. Could be like a local thing, could be some kind of interference or something. It's been all this week, like I try to upload something and it's like, my videos aren't that long either, like 20 minutes at the most sometimes. Occasionally I'll do like a longer one, but look at the mountains. It's awesome. I just had a public freak out in fucking Ross. My favorite place too, I'm there all the time. Just sometimes it's like, I don't know. I mean, look, I live in a city and I live in a tourist area. So it's a melting pot. So, I mean, you get all kinds of people from all over the world, and I don't know, some of them are just fucking retards. I'm just in line, I'm trying to buy two things in my hand. I got this guy in front of me with all this shit, and then this woman comes up behind me with a full cart of shit, and she's like, oh, excuse me, I'm with him, and she points to the guy, and I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So I let her through. Then an older woman comes up. Excuse me. I'm like, yeah, I'm with them. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She only had a couple things. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. Then her husband, or an old man, shows up. He's got shit too. He's like, excuse me, I'm going with them. I'm like, all right, go ahead. So now we got 4 people there. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? No big deal, whatever. These things happen. So this other kid that's not with them, this other guy was with someone further up in the line, he's got all this shit. Now meanwhile, even though the line is packed, they only have 2 people working registers, right? This is a common thing here. I don't think they realize, it's not that they're being dicks, they just don't, they're not aware of this, of what's going on in the store, right? This is everywhere though in here. Everywhere Hawaii's like that. Like, I've seen some crazy madness going on with people causing problems, cutting each other, and the people that work at these stores won't do a fucking thing. It's not because they're, like I said, they're just not aware. You know, God love them. But so anyway, this other dude comes up with a bunch of sneakers and shit in his hand. You know, a lot of times people come here and they buy all this shit that they then bring back to where the fuck they're from to sell them. These people looked, they're European, but I think they were Romanian, I want to say, just by the accent. So this guy's with them too. So what the fuck? So they got 2 guys, 1 girl, older guy, old lady, I'm like, whatever. You know, they're all together. And then that other kid, he's way up front, whatever. I'm still fine, you know, and it sucks, it's fucking retarded, but whatever. So waiting. They're not putting people on registers either, because they don't give a fuck. They don't realize it, you know. So they're nice people there too. Like I'm in there every day, I have no problem with them, but they just don't. They're not proactive with that kind of shit. Like, I don't, you know, it's just. And it's not just them, it's kind of everywhere here. So anyway, this big gang of gypsies with all their stuff, right? They, I'm like, well, at least, you know, they're going to take them. No. When a register opens up, the old man and the old lady go. The rest of them are standing in line, now in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck? If I knew you guys were going to... I thought you were all together. You're not all together. All paying separately and going separately, because then one of the younger guys goes over to the other girl that finally finished with the fucking jewelry counter. So I'm like, what the fuck? I would never have let these motherfuckers basically cut me. That's what they did. They got a ton of shit. I got 2 things in my hand. And I'm like, fuck. So I just took all my shit. I just threw it everywhere. I said some obscenities about the fucking... you know, missing the first world and shit. Then I walked out like a fucking psycho. I don't want to be a psycho, but you know, whatever. These things happen. It's never, I mean, the kind of stuff that happens to me here in retail stores never happened anywhere else in my life. It's just, it's a different kind of, you know, I don't know. It's a different kind of thing here. So I fucking storm out there, throw all my shit everywhere in different corners and just fucking leave. Security guy, yeah, I know the guy. You must have been like, what the fuck's his problem? Because then I look like the retard. Like, this is my problem here, and it happens a lot, is that someone does something very fucking developing nation, and I put up with it for a while, and then eventually I lose my shit. And all people see is me losing my shit. Like, you know, chasing those kids down the street the other I can't, you know, I wish I had better control of myself. And fucking Jesus, speaking of psychos, I go to this guy's YouTube page last night. Like, I go looking at YouTube all the time, looking for new creators, or, you know, if it's a small creator, I always try to leave some nice comments and give them some, like, encouragement. Someone leaving these comments on this dude's YouTube page, and one of the comments I left, because he's very much like me, and I was pointing out the things, how we're alike, and I said, "Are you me?" You know, as a joke. Well, he didn't understand this and took it as like I was insulting him. So he fucking goes off, and he comes onto my videos under different accounts, because I don't think he has this. Maybe he does have a lot of people that are in his clique or something. And one of the things I said, I'm like, yeah, you have you're a truth teller. You wear makeup. You got an Asian wife. And you have under 300 subscribers. You know, just like me, right? Are you me? As a joke. And I think he fixated on the under 300 subscriber thing, which I have too. That's why I pointed it out. So I start getting all these fucking comments about, well, this guy acts like he's got thousands of subscribers. He only has 200. It's like, you fucking retard. I assume people are as smart as I am. And I'm not, you know, I'm an average intelligence C student. No, I gotta stop doing that. So the guy's just been bombarding my videos with all these messages. So then one of them, he's like, and maybe it's not all him, maybe someone else, like, yeah, I've seen your racist messages on Facebook. You know, so now they're trying to go with that. And I'm like, I don't even go on Facebook. Well, what I think it could have been was my Instagram. They don't tell you this, but what they do is Meta, when what's his face bought it, he attaches your Instagram to Facebook. So sometimes it posts your Instagram posts on Facebook, and I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I've been on the internet since 1996. I don't post anything racist or anything, because I know there's psychos like that out there. And plus, why would you post something racist? So there's something I posted that they construed as racist, because yeah, I mean, if you looked at this channel, you could easily say them a bunch of different things just by the stuff I talk about. It's never mean-spirited or anything like that, never making fun of people, but just by virtue of the fact that I talk about certain subjects, you know. So I had all that craziness going on this morning, and then I come out just to get a walk away from it, and then I have all these fucking idiots over at Ross. So it's a rough day. It's a rough day. I might go in and call it and take a nap. This is nice out here, though. This is a good view. It's like this every day. It's like this every day. Clear. You know, it doesn't. It hardly ever rains. I know this lady. She's nice. She's always out here with her dog. Every time I say hi to her, she's like, "Hello, sir." Yeah, I'm very lucky to live here, but like I always say, that the terrain is nice, the scenery is nice. The people are fucking, they're a handful. Not the islanders or well, I was gonna say Native Hawaiians, but there really aren't any Native Hawaiians here. Not in Waikiki. And there's very few on the island. And they did a good job of kicking them all off during COVID when they brought a metric ton of mainlanders here. But I think I'm the only one that talks about that in public. People talk to me about it like in whispers, like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Where all these people come from? I try to explain it to them, and then they don't know what I'm talking about. It's hard knowing things you can't explain to people. I think like if I think a lot, like if I could just put my brain in someone else's head. I've said this to Nia before, trying to explain things to her. I'm not super articulate sometimes. I get frustrated because I just want people to know what I mean. Miscommunication is the cause of a lot of problems. Like the guy on YouTube who I was trying to compliment and give encouragement to, and not to go back to this, but I even went to his page and wrote this thing saying, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. I didn't, it was complimentary. I wasn't trying to dog you. Apologize if you took that wrong." He deleted that comment and just fucking... So he's a psycho, basically. You run into people like that sometimes. I guess I was kind of due for one, but that used to happen to me on Instagram. Not Instagram, fucking eBay. I had a perfect eBay score. And every once in a while, you'd get that one person that would see your perfect score. I was a power seller. I got a thing that, I got a scholarship to eBay school. I don't know what eBay school is. I have no idea what it's about. I just thought it was funny. And they sent me these certificates every milestone. I was a fucking crazy eBay guy. And people would see that, and some people would just want to ruin it, just to fuck up your perfect score. And I'd run into one of those people every once in a while, so I had a few, demerits or whatever against my account because of that. I try to reason with them, like, I forget what it was exactly. One person said they didn't get something when I know they did, because I would keep all the, I kept all the delivery information. I had a tracking number, and also I did all the things, so I could see it got to their house. But they and then this other woman, kind of like, she said I sent her something broken without even talking to me. You just will run into psychos in life. And I'm a person that's been in a mental hospital. So like, I don't say that lightly. You play the fucking psycho roulette every time you interact with the world, and sometimes it all goes on red. And guess who wins the pony? It's a dangerous street out here. Someone got killed out here not too long ago. Now it's been about a year. They were crossing the street like right here in front of my house. And someone just came flying up the street. Killed them, they died. Pretty crazy. It's the worst place to drive. Like, it's the worst place for driving in the country, hands down. And I grew up in Massachusetts, so again, that's like calling someone a psycho when you've been in a mental institution. I lived in Massachusetts and drove there, and this place is the fucking worst. I know it'll upset Dave if I say it, but I got hit 3 times here walking down the street. This is a whole complaining video. I think I'm taking my therapy out on, well, because like I still have a therapist, because I still have to get Effexor, because I can't get off Effexor. I've done videos about it. It's a fucking nightmare. Every time I try to get off it or lower dose myself, and I'll take out the little white pills, like the little balls that are in the things, and I'll I'll take like 3 balls out and then 5 balls out, and I'll be like, yeah, I got like a dozen balls out. And then I'll have like a fucking meltdown. And I'll have to get back on it. It is an antidepressant. Like most antidepressants, if you want to get off them, like Prozac, I was on that before. Among many other things. I've had so many different fucking drugs in my system, pharmaceuticals, over the years, since my first diagnosis, which was 2008. I had these problems my whole life, you know, but I didn't get my first diagnosis until 2008, which was schizophrenia. But I don't think I really, it's not that was giving me trouble. It's the DID that fucked me up. That was something they were always kind of thinking that could be it, but it took them years to give me that diagnosis. It's a very rare thing. So all those girls on TikTok, they don't have DID. Today I'm Molly. I don't like cupcakes. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. At least in my experience. But like what it is for me is just missing time. Missing time. And it still happens. It still happens to me. Nia keeps an eye on me now. And she knows when I'm like a different kind of version. Just last night I was watching this video and I was like, oh, I like this channel. And they were talking about one of their other videos that they had done. And I'm like, I want to watch that. And I went to it, and I had just watched it recently. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't remember any of this fucking. But I did. I watched, you know. It was all, the red line was there, and I remember a little bit of that. But the way DID works for me, and I don't name my fucking different states of mind or whatever. I will just, like, I'll walk, here's how, this is the nightmare that is dissociative identity disorder. I'll look in my inbox, right, and I'll see like an email from someone I haven't talked to in a long time. And I'll be like, oh, I wonder what they wanted. You know, why is this person emailing me? And I'll look, right, and there's an attachment with my email to them. I emailed them first, and they're just answering me back. And I'll look at the email, and you know, it's kind of what it sounds like me. I mean, but you know, I don't remember writing it. Or you know, walk around the house, and I'll see something. I'll be, hey, where did or my collection? I'll find something that I don't remember yet. I'm like, wow, I have this. And Neil will be like, yeah, we bought it here and there, and she'll tell me about it, and I won't have any fucking memory of it at all. Or even worse, you know, you'll be somewhere out in public, right? And like I'll see a friend or something, or someone I know, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? And they'll be real cold to me, like really weird, like I'm like, oh, wonder what their, you know, maybe they're having a bad day, right? I wonder what their problem is, right? So come to find out, like, I called them at 3:30 in the morning to ask to borrow their car or something like that. I don't have any memory of it. It's fucked up shit. It's fucking embarrassing is what it is. It can, you know. I remember when I first got my diagnosis, I was telling my bass player, Nikki, her and I were real close. We were close for years and years. Lived together on and off a couple times. Not in like in a relationship type thing, but we, you know, I lived at her place, she lived at my place. We were just real close. We were tight. We were together a lot. And when I told her about it, she's like, "Oh yeah, I knew that a long time ago." She's like, "Sometimes I'd just be talking to you, and I'd be like, why is he? You know, you just weren't yourself, you know." I've never gotten violent. I've never done anything like violent while in that state. But like you hear these stories about like, you know, people committing these horrible crimes and they don't remember anything. They wake up in jail or something. But I think what happens is like when you have that personality split. I don't think you ever stray too far from your core personality. Because I never did anything outrageous. I do weird shit. Like, you know, call people asking for their car at 3 in the morning, weird stuff like that. But I've never, like, done anything, like, illegal or criminal or anything. I think you don't, or at least in my experience, you don't really stray too far from your core self. Ultimately, though, I think this stuff is, there's a spiritual aspect to it. For me in DID, I think it has a lot to do with my childhood and things that went on there, you know. Because I don't remember a lot of things. I remember very little about my childhood. But I do remember situations where I would pretend I was somewhere else in my mind. I would go to, like, I'd play out the scenario, a very detailed scenario, just to get out of the situation I was in. And it causes you to partition yourself into different things. And I found sometimes I'm conscious of this, like, you know, I'd be cruising down the road in my car, right? And my tire would blow out. And it's almost like I'd switch into a different thing, just to be, I can handle this. But I think a lot of people do that anyway. I mean, I think that's the thing when people play different roles or different versions of themselves to acclimate themselves to whatever situation they're in or whatever people are around. But, you know, in my case, it's an extreme thing where I don't remember when I'm in these states, and only later, you know, I get told about them. So it's really just, I mean, it's just embarrassing more than anything, you know. But I think that has to do with what, you know, it's a childhood thing. And it's like a lot of the shit that happens to you in your life, especially when you're young, can really fuck you up. The schizophrenia thing, I don't know. I don't think I have all the classic schizophrenic things. I think the reason I got that diagnosis is because if you're a doctor, the only thing they use to diagnose you is observation and feedback from the patient. And that's all across the board in the mental health field. That's all it is. That's all you can do. Observation and feedback from the patient. In my case, I had schizophrenia on both sides of my family. So I think when I came in after having, like, they said I had a nervous breakdown at some point. They don't know when. I don't remember having, I don't know what it would be. But I guess you only have one. You can only have one nervous breakdown. After that, you can have psychotic breaks where you kind of separate yourself from the situation. But it's never as profound and lasting as your original nervous breakdown. It's kind of weird. But since I moved here, a lot of my symptoms have gone away. And then the God thing, you know, realizing all that was true, that really helped a lot too. And I think there is a spiritual component to to mental health issues. You know, I hate to say demons again, you know, because it's, you know, I'm always saying demons, but demons, you know what I mean? Demons, you know, they're waiting. They're always around you. You know, they're always waiting in the different angles, in the different dimensional angles. There's geometry at work here. You can't see them, but they're here. And if you get a low enough vibrational frequency, if you're using drugs, you're depressed, they'll slip right in, and they'll gin you up. Like, yeah, this is a good idea, you know. And they'll make you start to think that the crazy bullshit they want is what you want. Back in, like, was it like maybe 2014? Well, between 2012 and 2014, me and Nia were living with my mom, who had dementia and Alzheimer's. She's having trouble. I like my mom. Mom's cool. You know, we'd fight a lot because I think we were really similar. We had a lot in common. And she's really weird with me. Well, you know what? There's a lot of weird stuff in my mom. But anyway, she's cool. She's gone now. God rest her soul. She's moved on. But I remember specifically when I was living in that house, and now I'm specifically, because I'm in Hawaii, But I would, whenever I would have these sort of meltdowns, I would start yelling about Jesus and God and stuff. And this is when I was an atheist, right? And I would like do freaky shit. I would draw like upside down crosses, and I would scream about hating Jesus and all this fucked up like satanic shit. And whenever I'd come around after it or later, and I'd be like, why? I don't believe in any of that stuff. You know, that's at all. I was a complete atheist. Thought it was all just stories and a way to control people. I didn't think there was really any spiritual world. And you know, and I'd studied that stuff as far as you know, occult stuff, conspiracy stuff. I knew what went on. I knew people sacrificed things, but I didn't believe it really. I was like, I just didn't think there was a spiritual realm. Well, it's certainly not a god or a devil. So it was puzzling to me that whenever I'd have these meltdowns, I'd be drawing all this stuff and screaming about Jesus and acting really like demonic and stuff. So it's like, you know, what is that? Dare I say it? Demons! It is though. It has to be, right? Like what else is that? None of that happens anymore though. None of that happens anymore. I still get the missing time sometimes. Like or like I was saying the other night watching that video, I'm like, I know I remember I watched this at some point, but I don't remember watching it, you know? Or I don't remember watching it. But it's nothing like it used to be. It's improved so much. You know, which is good for me and for Nia. You know, she says it all the time too. And I'm so much easier to handle, because like living with me was like a job. You know, she would. I don't even want to get into some of the story. And again, I was never doing anything violent. Never hurt anybody except myself. But yeah, it's something about this place. There's it's a healing place. This place is a healing place. And the islanders, like the local people, are cool. It's just that I live in a tourist area, so you got fucking all kinds of different people coming here with all different kinds of customs, all different kinds of ideas about what manners are, or etiquette, or personal space, or morals. It's just a different thing, you know. They got bitched enough, huh? I'll come back with something better. I don't mean to lie to you when I say that, but a lot of times I don't. But I'll be back with something. I know this sucks. I'll be back with something better. You know, they can't all be home runs. You know, sometimes you get a, you know, or in my case, you know, they can't all be bunts to first. You know, sometimes you have strikeouts. You know, you gotta just have to live with that little doggy. All right. The dog's awesome. Dog's awesome. The thing that scares me around here is when I see a woman. She was a normal sized woman, but when I see these little small girls with pit bulls or like big dogs, I'm like, that she ain't gonna stop that thing. That thing wants to come over and fucking cripple me. No one's doing anything about it. Especially pit bulls. Pit bulls, it's like having a gun on a fucking leash. Ugh. I don't know. There's a lot of them around here too. Well, there's a lot of them now, since we got this big influx of mainlanders. Is that building manager, Alistair? I guess I gotta go say hi to him. Oh no, he's leaving. He's walking out the door. I don't have to see. He's a cool guy. He's from the UK. I think he's a southerner though. He's not a working class northern guy, but he's still cool. He's all right. You know, for southerner, he's okay. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.